Sanity Rant number 7. A love letter to a liberal, curious troll. Maybe a blueprint for people on the edge. You know who I'm talking about. Those independents who listen to both sides. We're here for you. If you need help and you're ready to leave the death cult, we would totally love to have your vote and your dedication to stopping the fascist takeover. I mean, you're here. You're definitely at least liberal curious. I know, I can be a wicked smartass if I'm doing it right, but I'm not hostile. And remember, you guys do all of the setup for our material and practically write all the punchlines for us. Though I must admit I do feel some satisfaction with myself if I have a relatable product when I'm done trying to reconnect another Kool-Aid spun MAGA maniac to their long-lost, tragically neglected mind. And to be honest, I've only actually heard it first or second hand and seen examples of converted, seemingly rational and genuine human beings in the media anecdotally. In over 5 years, not one personal success story can be confirmed where a right-wing, trollish idiot like you said yes to accepting truth, reason, empathy, and individual critical thought. I never know what beginning kernel of truth or needle I add to the overwhelming haystack full of them pointing towards sanity. But maybe I can make some contribution to somebody's eventual awareness. If fascism wasn't so goddamn dangerous, you guys would be hysterical. As in funny to laugh at your hypocrisy, watching the sad irony create your own controversies and conflicts for yourselves. But you guys create all that bullshit for us too and make your cruelty and hatred our fucking crisis to resolve. Upon experiencing one of my overly verbose recitals, if one wasn't carefully observant to what I actually say, reacting to triggers they only infer, one could easily think that I throw insults around just because I like to be mean, spiteful, and indiscriminate. But I say no. Cruelty to opponents and blind allegiance to the leader is the GOP's gig. And I am not that which I despise. Right-wing hatred is built on despising people for things they can't even change. I despise GOP policy for the thoughtless and intentional pain they choose to inflict, whether blinded by ideology, religion, corruption, and criminality, or complete ineptitude. And it's appallingly most often a combination of all of the above. We don't have that on the side of the aisle where I come from. You, as the current Republican Party, are a breed of psychopaths unto yourselves. And most importantly, GOP chose this, and they do it every day. That which and whom they hate rarely chooses to be whatever that is or they are, nor should they be hated, being exactly whom they choose to be. I hate nobody, but the reason people hate GOP-associated thinking, policy, and supporters is exactly what I've described. If it wasn't for the new, Trumpian Republican, stupid confrontational bullying and destruction of institutions and traditions you neither know about nor care anything for, I wouldn't be here sounding the incoming idiot alarm again. My insults are most often aimed specifically at a real presence, both collective and at many of the individuals comprising it. This presence and these individuals are the GOP, and its members are often as hostile as they want to be. And their dog whistles become bullhorns, and the quiet part finally gets bellowed out loud, until we're all finally very clear that we're listening to racists, nationalists, white supremacists, Nazis, bigots, homophobes, xenophobes, spewing toxic, hateful sewage into our public discourse while standing firmly against many, many more constructive and progressive policies than any, if any, for which they advocate. Oh, but they do have a soft spot in their hearts, and get that special warm, fuzzy feeling from giving trillions of dollars to billionaires. Yep, it's a party of heartless automatons, and there's no way you can convince me otherwise. I love me some old school Republicans, but those are gone, brother. The orange elephant finished you guys off and turned you into a swarm of apocalyptic wasps all on orders from Central Command, attacking liberal democracy, free society, people's rights, people's wealth, people's bodies, people's health, people's lives, people's truth. Seriously, the GOP has fucked up everything. I've only spent 40 years examining politics, and in the last 6, I've gotten a doctorate in fascism and authoritarian takeovers. I never try to presume what anyone's character is. I see who one supports and the values they have at the top. And at the top of the GOP is the head of a venomous snake, and the rest of the GOP is practically a fucking hydra. Now, we are not the sins of our candidates until we know the corruption, the grift, the cruelty, and the lies being perpetrated in our names. When one continues supporting people who violate basic tenets of humanity and integrity, after they know what horrible people they are enabling, it makes me feel like I am being assaulted personally. And so justifiably comes the wrath that you conservatives do not seem to understand coming from us pacifist liberals. It freaks you out that we get upset over being fucking bullied in every part of our lives and government, violate my humanity, and I get really unpleasant. And when I explain exactly how this violation is occurring and you offer an opinion, I will totally lose my shit. Because opinions don't count when the body bags are piling up, when the shit show of evidence is flowing so fast we can't even account for all the atrocities, and nobody gets held accountable. Because people don't even have an accounting system for this amount of bullshit being dumped on a fragile, abused, and sabotaged democracy. Trust me, I would rather not be messing with this frustrating insanity whatsoever. I'd rather be writing another rock opera. But for me to be creative other than writing these impassioned appeals is impossible. For me to play music in the ways I excel, I have to travel to a universe where I know I have a safe home to come back to, and I haven't felt that way since Trump has been on the scene. As a nation, we had a momentary respite after the Biden inauguration. We all got just a little bit of breathing room. But lo and behold, the big fucking lie, the big fuck you from the GOP to America's peace of mind, offering a full-throated GOP-backed hostile transition of power, vaporizing from the losing side the sanctity of a homeland we used to share with fellow Americans. Truly a most offensive, ongoing assault on everything good about our government. A plotted coup and violent, seditious attack, followed up with a couple years of gaslight messaging, straight-up lies, ridiculous debunked theories, and baseless hyperbole, all pushing a lie that not many of the pushers could credibly believe. Oh, but the stupid asses they sold it to are going to get them reelected, with their votes, with their anger, with their fear, with their hatred, and most importantly, with their tax-deductible campaign donations. I'm fucking angry. I'm not hostile. This is no game. It ain't the Braves versus the Dodgers. Fascism seeks to exterminate that which doesn't agree with it. That's a pretty fucking drastic assault on my entire world. It's going on here legislatively. It's going on in Ukraine literally as genocide, and half the fucking GOP supports it. So argue for your GOP and tell me of your valor, sir. But seriously, take the fascists away and I don't give a fuck about politics. So if you want to join our side, that's great. But you're not going to get away with false equivalency bullshit around me and not be called out on it. We're all here to get the blue elected, and if you cared what was best for you and the interests of the 99.9%, you would certainly make that your mission too. Enjoy your visit to liberal land.